Case file. The menu that wouldn't. The night that the case crossed my desktop, the city was humming. Low, electric, like an overclocked GPU, one benchmark away from meltdown. Rain slid down the window in pixel streaks, and every neon sign in the district buzzed like a UI animation with one too many keyframes. Then came the call. A menu. Unresponsive. Breaking at 480 pixels like a rookie dev on their first merge conflict. That's when I knew. Somewhere out there was a nav in need of refactoring, and I was the only coder gritty enough to go looking for it.
All right, let's get into it. Professor Solo has just dropped a 5-part masterclass on the evolution of responsive navigation, and I'm here to be your guide on this high-speed tour. So, you're going to want to strap in. This is Hamburger Menu Magic.
That's me, your guide for this whole mission. We're going to navigate every single transformation in Professor Solo's playbook. We're going to start with those really stubborn, broken menus, then we'll tame them with some flex fixes. After that, we build the classic hamburger, graduate to some sneaky slide outs, and finally, we unleash the full power of cinematic overlays. Oh yeah, it is going to be a ride.
So here's the flight plan. We're starting with a total failure, the menu that wouldn't. Then we civilize it with flex to impress. Next up, the classic, bun and done. We'll level up with the sneaky slide out, go full cinematic with overlay dramatic, and wrap it all up with your official mission briefing. All right, let's do this.
Right. Every great glow-up story has to start with a really rough before picture, right? Well, our legend begins right here, with a classic horizontal nav bar that just will not shrink gracefully. It is, and I mean this, a perfect disaster piece. I mean, just look at this chaos. This menu is clearly built for a fixed desktop width, like it's 2008 all over again. The links are just forced into this one long line, and the second you shrink the screen, poof, they just fall right off the edge. You get that awful horizontal scroll bar. It's the definition of a nav that just refuses to respond.
Look at this victim. Scrolling on overflow. A brittle, outdated nav clinging to the past like an old API that nobody has the heart to deprecate. Viewport tightening. Total collapse of UX. It falls apart like spaghetti JavaScript written at 3 a.m. under fluorescent lights. Don't worry, we can rebuild it.
Okay, enough of that. Time to intervene. And in comes Flexbox, swaggering in like a layout janitor with cosmic powers, ready to just clean up this entire mess. This is our first and probably most crucial step towards a real responsive solution. Now, what's really cool here is that the HTML, it's exactly the same as the broken version. The entire glow up, this whole transformation you're seeing, it's powered by 100% CSS. I mean, before this, you'd be wrestling with clunky floats and clear fixes. What a nightmare. But with Flexbox, the links finally wrap and reflow instead of just bailing off screen. The spacing becomes predictable. Boom, instant sanity. And you want to know what the magic ingredient is? It's this one line of code right here. Flex wrap wrap. Seriously, this is the true unsung hero of small screen layouts. It's the command that tells the items, hey, drop to the next line when you run out of space, instead of fleeing the viewport. It's such a small change, but man, what a massive impact.
Yeah, sure. Flexbox slides in along that main axis, justifying a world it intends to align. Confident, efficient, dangerously smooth. It rearranges items like a seasoned street magician, but when things get narrow, that wrap shows up. Messy, chaotic, spilling links like neon confetti onto the pavement. Flexbox tried, but trying's not enough in this city. Then, I see it. 3 glowing bars hovering in the UI fog. The hamburger.
So, Flexbox definitely helped, but let's be real. Even a nicely wrapped nav can still hog a ton of vertical space on a phone. So, it's time for the classic move, hiding all that navigation behind the iconic hamburger button. And here it is, the classic pattern in action. On wide screens, you get the full navigation, no problem. But on smaller screens, it all collapses into this neat, compact button, the bun. You give it one tap, the menu drops down, tap again, it's gone. It's simple, it's predictable, and most importantly, it gives your content some room to breathe.
It doesn't shout, it whispers. Tap me, and watch as I drop down a relic from better days. Just a Boolean toggle and a hopeful block of pixels. But if you want real power, you shift planes. You move horizontal.
Look, the drop-down, it gets the job done. It's fine. But the drawer, oh, the drawer has style. This is where we really level up, moving from a simple toggle to this sophisticated slide-in side menu that feels so much more like a native app. So instead of dropping down and shoving all your content around, this navigation actually lives off canvas. It's completely outside the page flow. Then, when you tap the button, it just smoothly glides into view from the side. It creates this really clean, clear separation between the page and the nav.
So why go with a slide out? Well, first, you get a strong spatial metaphor. The user just knows the menu lives over there. Second, there's zero layout shift on the page, which is just a way smoother experience. It has that app-like feel, the tap targets can be way bigger and more comfortable, and you have a ton more vertical space for a really long list of links. It's a win-win-win.
That drawer slips in from the side like a back alley informant. Quiet, smooth, carrying secrets you didn't know you needed. It's not flashy, it's precise. A whisper of motion so clean you wonder if it was ever closed at all. But menus aren't just supposed to appear, they're supposed to arrive.
Okay, we've dropped menus down, we've slid them out from the side. Now it's time for the full screen takeover. We're talking a cinematic overlay that completely steals the stage and puts your navigation front and center.
Yeah, this is basically the menu equivalent of throwing rose petals while you descend a grand staircase. It is the "you have my full attention" version of the hamburger menu.
This really is the hero shot of navigation patterns. When you tap that button, the page just fades into the background and the navigation takes over the entire viewport. It's perfect for really large, structured menus, or for those times when you want your brand to have a truly dramatic, full-on cinematic moment.
The blackout hits, the city dims. A soft, velvet darkness washes over the UI. This is drama done right. A hush that tells the user, focus, you're in navigation mode now. A spotlight without the glare, a moment without the noise. Pure, deliberate immersion. Case closed. We pulled that nav out of the gutter, cleaned it up, gave it a new identity forged in light, motion, and just the right amount of neon swagger. From broken to flexed to fully cyber responsive.
All right, Professor Solo built the mission and you have now seen the entire evolution. So it's time for your debrief. Let's talk about how to actually choose the right pattern for your project and, even more importantly, how to make it actually good. So the key takeaway here is pretty simple. Choose the right tool for the job. If you only have a few links, that simple Flexbox wrap we saw, that might be all you need. For most basic mobile sites, the classic Hamburger dropdown is a totally solid choice. If you're aiming for that app-like UX or you have a lot more links, the slide-out drawer is your go-to. And of course, for maximum drama or a huge menu, you unleash the full screen overlay. Okay, listen up, because this part is absolutely non-negotiable. To make your futuristic menu actually good, it has to work for everyone. That means always keeping the ARIA expanded attribute in sync with the menu state, so screen readers know what's going on. It means letting users close menus with the escape key. That's a universal convention, folks. And this one is critical. You have to trap keyboard focus inside an open overlay. If you don't, keyboard users can start tabbing onto elements that are hidden behind the menu, completely losing their place. It's a huge problem.
In this city, kid, neon can fool you. Menus glow, buttons shimmer, animations dance like they've got souls. But beneath all that chrome, there's only one thing that separates a pro from a poser. A11Y. A nav that welcomes everyone. That's not decoration. That's the code we live by.
And finally, for the love of all that is holy, you have to test it. Run through your resize tests. Check it on mobile emulators. Try to navigate using only your keyboard. Fire up a screen reader and see what happens. Make sure your tap targets are big and easy to hit. Remember, a responsive nav should feel like a calm AI co-pilot, not some glitching hologram from a bad sci-fi movie.
Remember, operators, a menu isn't a list of links. It's a map of your world. Build it, test it, build it again. Without solid navigation, we are all lost in the fog.
So there you have it. Consider your responsive navigation arsenal fully loaded. You are now equipped with Flexbox patterns for those simple, elegant solutions. You've mastered the classic hamburger toggle, the sophisticated slide-out drawer, and the dramatic full-screen overlay. And, maybe most importantly, you have the accessibility and testing knowledge to make sure all these patterns are truly production-ready.
You just saw the entire evolutionary path of modern navigation, from a broken relic of the past to a full suite of powerful, modern UI patterns. Professor Solo built the mission, you completed the journey.
So now it's your turn. Go out there and craft UIs that feel like they're running on Starship-grade UX. Make something awesome.
T.A. Watts, signing off.
One last thing. Never forget, all worlds worth navigating eventually move. Next episode, we push into motion, bending space with transforms and interpolating atmosphere with transitions and animation. This is Professor Solo, slipping back into the rain.